Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Jason, I'm your watch guy today. Today I'm reviewing a new release from Pagani Design, and it's one that genuinely really did get me quite excited when I saw it, and more importantly when I saw the dimensions of it. Now they have released a homage to the BB36, and it is actually 36 mm. Well, I'll get into the precise diameters of it shortly, but they sent me the silver dial variant, which I think is really, really nice. Now they have sent this to me for free and it's through the Pagani Design official store on Aliexpress. I don't have to send this back, it is completely free, but this is a complete open and honest review. Also, I have gotten this out as soon as possible so you can still make the best of the sale price of this one. I will go through that in the review. They've also sent me another model which wasn't quite ready when they sent this piece in. So today I am going to be reviewing this, unboxing this, and showing you the absolutely stunning dial colour of this one. So thank you to Pagani Design official store on AliExpress for sending these in. If you would like to pick any of these up after this review, I do have their link in the description. That is an affiliate link, please do be aware of that. Now without further ado guys, let me turn this camera around and let's review this watch. How good looking is this little beauty? Honestly, right, this has got me thinking Pagani Design are back to where we really, really loved them to be. When they're listening to our ideas as well as packing in their own little surprises, I guess. Let me just get this date to flick over so we're not looking at anything annoying. Now, some of my favourite homages from Pagani Design are the ones that have been packed into smaller cases, and that is because they're very wearable, but they also look very nice on wrist, and I believe that they're much easier for Pagani Design to carry off. When they're nice and simple like this piece, they just absolutely nail it, and this is really what I'd love to see them stick to. Nice, simple, elegant homages. Now, obviously we have another piece to look at here. Let me just talk to you about the diameter and dimensions of this piece, and then we'll get into unboxing that other one that they really wanted to show off. So in diameter is 36.6 millimeters. It is 11.5 millimeters thick, makes this very, very wearable on wrist. And what makes this even more wearable is the 44.3 millimeter lug to lug distance. And these 20 millimeter lugs really do fit this case very well as adding a lot of options to your strap choice with this one. Now there's a screw down crown built into this casing. We have high polish edges with a nice level of brushing on the upper lugs. Fixed bezel, of course, here, and that is high polish also. We have a lovely sapphire crystal which just protrudes the casing here. As I move to the rear of the watch, you can see that we do have a display case back. Now this does show off the NH35 movement in here. Really nice to see that they are back to using the NH35 more dominantly throughout their watches, because obviously it is the best option for us to go to in the budget market. Well, for me, that's my opinion anyway. It's an absolute workhorse. It's recognisable from a recognised brand, and it keeps the prices down and has all the features that you really do need it to have. Now, before we go into the dial, I'm going to unbox this other piece that they have sent in. Pagani Design released this all together, but one of them they had in hand straight away, which was this one, and then the other they did not. So let's see what's in the box, guys. Of course, we have a Tiffany blue dial. I mean, it's really just dominated the first quarter of this year, hasn't it? First half of this year, probably. I really don't think that we're going to see it go anytime soon. I think we're going to be seeing Tiffany dials for a good while, at least into the later stage of this year, especially considering that Rolex announced today they discontinued the 41mm perpetual in Tiffany blue. Still making the smaller ones, which I find so weird, but you know, that's Rolex, isn't it? If it's popular, discontinue it, hype the brand. The less said about them at the minute, the better for me. Really not impressed with their releases this year. Now, what I am impressed with is these Pagani designs. The build quality on them is actually, for the price, really, really good. Now, pricing, that is another thing that we need to hit on here. These are priced at £81.68 in the sale. I don't imagine them to go up very much. I'd say they probably go back up to around £90, but I do see them coming back down to play in this type of ballpark for much longer. And obviously, as we know, Pagani design pieces, they start off higher, and as the hype around them starts to die down, we see them drop in price and become much more affordable. Let me get the rest of this wrap off. Now, I know that everyone and their dog is releasing a Tiffany blue watch at the moment, but this one really does do something for me. I don't know if it's because it's that smaller dimension piece or what, or those snowflake hands, how bold they are. I just feel like this really does do it for me. Now, I do actually have another Tiffany blue dial piece coming in very shortly. Well, it is here, but I haven't made any videos on it yet. I haven't even sized it. That's in from a subscriber. It's the San Martin 36mm. So it'd be interesting to see how that stands up to a Pagani design. Now, one thing that really did surprise me with these pieces was the finishing and the quality of the finishing, especially on the bracelet. One thing that I've been very much into at the moment is quality finish on a bracelet. Now, let me just clean that up, because obviously it's got my fingerprints all over it. So I was sat on the train this morning and I glanced down at the watch that I had on, which was that Pagani design in the background there, and the finishing across this bracelet really did strike me. I don't know if it's because the brushing is so heavily accented by the outside polished links. I really do like those. I think that this is one of the better finished Pagani designs that I have seen. I mean, lately they have been pretty much stagnant in their quality. They haven't really stepped up the game very much. However, I feel like in this model, they've really put everything on the table and really gone for it. And at £81, I think it's a pretty good deal, to be fair. Now, let's start talking about the dial on these pieces. So one thing that I would like to point out over on this silver dial is the really fantastic sunburst silver design. The colour really does light up in certain lighting, and the indices really do play a massive part in these dials. They're quite heavily raised off the dial, so they do make a little bit of a spectacle for themselves. The date window is one thing that I would have maybe framed. Personally, I would have liked to have seen a black date window around that. I think that would have made it much bolder, much more legible. However, that is just on this model. As you can see on the Tiffany blue dial, that is a straight no date variant. It is still an NH35 movement in there, so you will have a ghost date position. However, I do much prefer that no date variant because it flows much better with the dial. It makes it much less cluttered. Really does play well with the design, I believe. Now, up at the 12 o'clock, we have a triangular indice, which gives us this vintage sort of aesthetic that you do get in these BB36 models. The snowflake handset plays very well with the dials. It's very bold, very legible, and it does make this very easy to read. They are black bordered handsets, as well as the 12, 3, 6, and 9 indices. Now, the rest of them seem to me to be a silver border, which was a strange choice, I guess. I don't know why they wouldn't just go black border all the way through. I don't know if it's just my eyes playing tricks on me, but it definitely looks like they reflect light much more. Now, around the outer edge, you can see that we have a half train track, minute track, which does highlight very well those second counters. Now, one thing that I do really like is that the handset fits very well to the minute track itself. As you can see, the second hand reaches straight out to the outer edge of that. Minute hand sits slightly inside, and the hour hand fits to the dial very well. Up to 12 o'clock, we have the Pagani design logo printed in black. automatic, 100 meters water resistance on this one, which I think is a very fair rating for a watch with a screw down case back and a screw down crown. Japan movement either side of the 6 o'clock on the dial here. Now, one thing that I've been very interested to see is the Lume on this piece. That is because Pagani Design for once actually showed the Lume shot in their advertising, in their product pictures. So they're really putting something on the line there. Now, it didn't look perfect in those pictures or the video, but it did look like it passed, say, the £80 mark, what we do expect at that type of level. So let me get these lights out and let's have a look at the Lume shot on these. Wow. I'm actually a bit shocked by this. Right, so one thing to notice, there's a slight bit of patchiness around the hour minute. Like, I am going to be brutal with these, right, because they're actually quite good. So around the 3 o'clock marker and the hour and minute hand, there's a slight bit of patchiness that I can see. However, in hand, this stands up to my other pieces. In fact, let me just pop one in here. So this one is from SWC, not fully charged, of course, but I think this really stands up. I'm bloody blown away. This is not the Pagani design that we know. What have they done? The silver dial actually stands up too. I was going to say there's a bit more patchiness around the hour and minute hand, but there's not. Okay, Pagani, I see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing. You make me look like a fool. I expect really terrible Lume, and you just hit me with this. Yeah, I'm going to give them this. I'm going to give them it. Now, I'm sure you'll forgive me for being so flabbergasted by that, but we all know what we come to expect from Pagani Design with that Lume, and that wasn't it. Well done, guys. Well done. I feel like a proud dad. I mean, I am a... To make this clear, I am a proud dad, but I feel like a proud watch dad at the minute. Right, so as we move on to the bracelet itself. Now, one of my favourite features on these watches was the reversed polish effect on the bracelet. I think that really does make it stand out. It makes it look really good, high quality finish to it. And they've actually finished the bracelet very well. I've got to give them that. I mean, you can see that there's a lot of marks on here right now. That's just my fingerprints and the usual, but give this a little polish up, as you saw before. It's actually a very lovely finish to it. We have one of the usual standard Pagani design double push clasps, milled clasp here. It is only 3 levels of micro adjust. I would have liked to have seen a bit more on here. We do have screw links on this bracelet, which we have come to expect from Pagani design, but I would like to remind you that that's not the standard at this price range. Standard is push pins, or even worse, folded. So it is still nice to see that they do pull off these bracelets in the same type of quality. Now, I'm going to pop this silver one on wrist for you. I haven't sized the blue yet because I have literally just unboxed it in front of you. But let me just pop my watch off wrist and I'll get this silver one on to show you. As you can see on wrist, it fits absolutely beautifully. And yes, I do have a much smaller wrist, 6.25 inches. However, these smaller dial watches, these smaller cased watches are going to be very optimal for a lot of people. And that's just because of how comfortable a smaller watch is on wrist. 36mm for me is one of my favorite sizes. 36 to 38 is my optimum. If it's a diver, maybe 40, but I do like to stay in this type of range because it's just a comfortable wear. I think that's the perfect everyday type of wear, that type of ballpark. Now, obviously, you're going to want to know about the moans for these watches, and there's a couple. As you can expect at this price range, there's always going to be downfalls to spending £80 on an automatic watch with this many features. So, let me tell you about them. We do have quite a bit of a jangle in this bracelet. Let me just put it to the mic. As you can hear there, so it does annoy me a little bit that it's not the best put together bracelet in the world. It does look really good. However, not the best when you're opening it up and you start to play around with it. It does feel a little bit jangly, a little bit. That does cheapen the feel slightly. Another thing that I have noticed on these models is that the edges are quite sharp around the lugs. Now, obviously, I haven't felt this on wrist. Well, fortunately, I haven't felt this on wrist, but around these lugs here, the case of these watches, quite sharp. Not exactly the premium feel when you're trying not to cut yourself on your watch. I mean, it's not to that level, but I'd have liked to have seen a little bit better of a finish around those corners. Thirdly, the sort of silver borders to the hour markings, to the indices. These circular indices do seem to be silver around the outer edge, which I think throws off the rest of the design slightly. I would have liked to have seen that all black, every indice. However, the ones that they have done do look quite good, and it does flow through that design quite well. I do think out of the two, I do really prefer the Tiffany, and I think it's probably because of that date window. I feel like this one, as in design terms, I feel like this one carries it off much better. So the real question is, guys, have Pagani design completely changed their ways? I mean, this is a hard to argue with piece at £81, packed with an H35 movement, something that we can rely on. The Lume is good. In fact, I'd probably say that the Lume's up there with the best sub £100 Aliexpress pieces. I'm trying to think really hard of ones that have beat it. I can't at the minute. I'm sure something will come to me, but yeah, it is really fantastic. It's really nice and refreshing to see that they've actually concentrated a bit on the Lume this time around. The whole piece as a package is a winner for me. And I'm bloody made up that they sent me two instead of one, because these could very quickly become my favourite Pagani design wares. Just, yeah, well done. Well done. It's not just me, is it? Everyone else expected that Lume to be really bad too. I mean, I literally wrote in my notes, Lume needs improvement, just because that's what I come to expect from Pagani design. Obviously, I'm someone that likes to leave the Lume shot for the actual review, because I feel like I want to get a genuine reaction to it, not just develop my view of it over a certain period of time and kind of frame my reaction to it. And yeah, I like to get the instant like pop, if you will. And to be honest, those ones really did impress me, especially for the price. I mean, £80, that's bloody good, you know. It is. Now, these are available with the premium packaging and the non-premium packaging. I've obviously always advise you to go for the non-premium packaging because it saves you a £5. And yeah, are you going to wear the box? No, you're not. So if you would like to pick any of these pieces up, guys, I have the links in the description. That's an affiliate link to the Pagani Design official store. They have sent me these watches for free. Keep that in mind. Obviously an honest review. However, I do have to still tell you that they have been sent to me for free. It'd just be quite unfair if I didn't. Thank you for watching this one, guys. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, it's quite rude because you've got to the end of this video and you haven't hit that subscribe button. I don't know what you've been doing the entire video if you've watched it all and not subscribed. I mean, yeah, how rude. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.